To the surprise of precisely nobody, the power of Netflix is very, very real, and it was single-handedly responsible for sending a song written in 1985 to #1 on the charts 37 years after its release. If your TikTok looks anything like mine, then over the past month or so, it has been absolutely overrun with this song. And of course, the renewed attention is coming from its prominent feature in season 4 of Stranger Things. As with popular Netflix things and music that comes from it, it often becomes the latest TikTok trend. Running Up That Hill was written in 1985 by English singer-songwriter Kate Bush, and it was part of her 5th studio album, Hounds of Love. And being just one of the many songs from the 80s that were sort of repopularized by Stranger Things, this one is particularly interesting to me, and I had not heard it before the trend, so I guess I'm exactly an example of somebody that this repopularization was a success on. This has been, needless to say, blowing up. 80s music videos. They're so great. The harmony in this tune is extremely, extremely simple, and it is... In fact, a few videos ago, we made something about some of the most common anime chord progressions, and this is exactly it. It's 1 to the flat 6, flat 7, 1, right? We're in this general C minor, that sort of center, we could call it. Here's why this chord sequence works so well, right? Because remember, I said we're sort of in this C minor bass. So if we look at the scale that accompanies C minor, let's just take C natural minor, for example. That's our C natural minor scale. So we know that we simply have an E flat, an A flat, and a B flat. That's in our scale. Everything else is unaltered, okay? So let's look at A flat major 7. What's the scale there? Now, for A flat major 7, are we going to use the major scale? Probably not. It doesn't really fit that well. So we wind up going Lydian, sharp 4, because that D just sounds much better, right? Okay, so A flat Lydian and C natural minor are the same scale. They just start from different places. But it's the same group of notes. There's an E flat, there's an A flat, there's a B flat. That's the group right there. That's it. Okay, and if we, instead of starting on C, if we just move down, let's take our B flat and our C, and we're gonna drop those down. So now we have this, and then we'll just add another A flat at the bottom, and we get this. It's the same scale, right? Let's go to the next chord. How about B flat? Now let's, in the context, does A really work there? Well, it sounds really cool, actually, and if you were gonna do it as an alteration and sort of throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in there, it would sound really good, but generally speaking, we're not gonna consider that our home base for this chord. What makes much more sense is to go B flat mixolydian, and that's because this A flat is existing both in our C minor chord and in our A flat major 7 chord. So we kind of just hang on to that A flat as part of the overall sound when we move to the B flat major chord. So what we have here is a B flat mixolydian scale. Now hold on, what were our alterations again? E flat, A flat, B flat. Once again, let's look at this. Okay, how about we just get rid of this B flat and let's add a C on top. We're back to our C natural minor scale. So those 3 chords literally have the exact same sound, right? These notes. That one scale works for everything. They just literally start in different places. A flat Lydian, B flat Mixolydian, C Aeolian, or natural minor. That's why this sounds so nice. And what that also enables you to do, if we wanted to play some stuff like improvise over top of these chords, you can work with one scale. You don't even have to change what you're doing. And it kind of makes it nice to do these like repetitive lines that pass from chord to chord, but they stay the same and they work with everything because they're just utilizing the notes of that one scale, and that one scale applies to all three chords. So you could literally just go. You can do that with anything. It's a really great improvisational technique if you just want to explore how these sounds sound a little different from chord to chord, even though they're exactly the same line, and you know it's going to work with them because it's the same scale for every chord. Anyways, this song is super easy harmonically speaking, and if you want to understand more about harmony, we have the Harmony 101 course. It's currently 30% off. You don't need a code or anything, just use the link in the description. David De Jesus, the teacher of this course, absolutely phenomenal. He was one of my most influential professors at the Conservatory of Music at Purchase College, where I went to school, and he is now the director of jazz studies there. So we are super lucky to have him as a teacher, and he nailed this course. So if you want to understand harmony on a deeper level and start understanding how to harmonize different notes, how chords are constructed, that's the course for you. 30% off. Go check it out. Link in the description. Let's keep going. The other thing I want to point out about this song is there's a very interesting melodic rhythm phrasing kind of tool that's used here. So we have, right? That's our first line. Second line. And then the third section. Okay, so we have those lines. This next part is the part that I find really interesting. Check this out. We have permutated the melody because it's the same melody happening again the second time. However, we've shifted it forward in the timing, right? So in the first section, it's simply on the downbeat. And the second time around, notice how I started that before the downbeat of that, wow, that was ugly. The downbeat of that A flat major 7 chord. So it's the same melody again, but we're permutating it. Permutating basically means when we play the same thing, but starting at a different point. It's essentially just like, oh, we have a phrase that starts here. Well, we're gonna play it again, but this time we're gonna start it a little sooner or a little later or whatever. And the effect that that has is really, really cool because it creates almost this like stuttering effect with the rhythm. You're not sure if like, oh, wait, hold on. Did it change meter? Are we in a different time signature now? Or was that a bar of 3? Or what happened? But this is neither. This just is perfectly just straight ahead 4/4, except we've permutated the rhythmic figure with the melody and it pushed it forward in the bar. Running up that hill, that line happens as a lead in this time. And then the running up that hill is coming in just ahead of the downbeat of the measure. Whereas the first time, like we said, it comes in right on the downbeat, the whole thing. Right? And so that permutation, it's just a little thing about it that makes it rhythmically interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's take a look at something else that has gained popularity, particularly on TikTok as a result of Stranger Things. Okay, wait. This is great because in the same way that the last song, this one is this is literally the same. Flat 6, flat 7, 1. Now, this is a bit different because I think the home bass here is not the minor, but rather it's relative major. So when we have A minor, we can call that home bass if the song is actually a minor song. I don't think this is. I think this is a major song. But we call this, so C and A are related because the natural minor scale of A is the exact same as the major scale of C. That's why we call them relative major, relative minor to each other. So what we are really looking at here is a song in C major, and so it changes the functionality of these chords, right? It changes the functionality because really,
you want it?
Okay, so right there, we've established this is where the song starts, right? And so that's kind of telling me, no, this is really in C major. That means we're not considering the song in A minor. So when we play this chord sequence, it's not flat 6, flat 7, 1. In the other song, in Running Up That Hill, we said it was in C minor and that these chords would then be flat 6, flat 7, 1. So if this was an A minor, then it would be flat 6, flat 7, 1, right? But it's not, it's in C major. What we're doing is we're establishing functionality within a key. If we're calling this C major, then what is F in C major? That's our first chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, and flat 6, flat 7, 1 are essentially the exact same chord sequence. And if you go back and check out that anime chord sequence video that we made, you'll see that those chords are the subject of the entire video. So in this case, we're looking at a 4, 5, 6. And here we go. And it ends kind of on this, almost on this sus chord, right? But we wind up resolving it, and it's in major, so it's in C major. So yeah, that's another one that's been popularized by Stranger Things. What else we got?
Every smile you fake, every claim you
Of course.
stick, I'll be watching.
This is the same. Look at it. Listen to that.
Smile you fake, every claim you stick,
Oh God, that's horrible. I don't know, maybe it was something about the 80s. I still don't think it's my favorite era of music, but there's tons of great stuff that came from that era. And it's so cool to see something like Stranger Things being responsible for bringing it to light for a lot of people who didn't otherwise know about it.